Welcome back, everyone. Briggs and Brett here today with Miles Pellet Stove, giving you guys another pellet stove repair video. Today we're starting the Harman repair series, and specifically we're going to be tackling the Accentra model, a very fan favorite of the Harman series, a very stout and well built one. And you know what, Dad? What's our first repair going to be?
Well, we got a good one for you today. You know, these Harmans, I like the way that they are engineered. It's really tight in the back of the stove. We'll show you. But today's focus is going to be on the ESP, which is the acronym Exhaust Sensing Probe. And this little one, I tell ya, it'll throw your Harman out to sea. You got to keep her clean. So what we're going to do is take it out, clean it up, give you some tips, and if that doesn't work, we're going to show you how to replace it. So you ready?
Yeah, let's go.
Okay, let's do it. Okay, like always, safety in all our videos. Unplug your stove prior to doing any maintenance on your pellet stove. And if you feel uncomfortable doing the service, call Briggs and I. If you live in Lynn Lane and Benton County, and if you live in another state, fantastic. Call your local service provider. So today, take a moment, if you can, like, share, subscribe, help Briggs and I build the channel. Okay, these are the tools that you're going to need today. So just a regular socket, 5/16 and a 1/4 inch, or you can do the same on an impact. And those are the tools that you're going to need. It's pretty simple, 5/16 and 1/4 inch. And what you may need is just a little bit of Windex cleaner and a paper towel. So in just a second here, we're going to whip this thing around so you can see the back part of it. And Briggs is going to show you how to work on the ESP. Okay, let's go.
All right, let's go. So right here, we're going to be focusing on this panel and this panel right here in the back of your stove. So right below the control board, you're going to have 2 bolts. They're going to be the 5/16. We're going to take those out just as so. And put that to the side. And we're going to slide the panel out just like that. I'm going to put all this to the side so you can see. So right here, you already can see the ESP. This is what we're going to be focusing on. But just to open everything up, I like going for the other panel as well. And so this is the same, just 2 bolts, just as so. I'm going to take out, put to the side, slide it out. Now you can see a lot better. Now, what you guys will be facing, obviously the stove will more likely be in your homes, attached up. This could be in a corner, an alcove, really close to a wall. And so it's going to be very tight corners. And a lot of times you're going to be like right here, or like right here, with very minimal room to work with. But as long as you focus on this side, you're able to access the ESP. The ESP is right here on the exhaust tube, and here is where that bolt is that we're going to be facing next. Now, real quick, there's my tool. All right, so right here, you have this long wires going all the way up there. We're going to ignore that for now, but that's just for reference. We're going to be taking our socket, our 1/4 inch, and we're going to be slowly taking out this bolt or screw, whatever you prefer to call it.
So you know, Briggs, that's a sheet metal screw, and I tell you, sometimes they don't come out, you know, easy peasy. Sometimes they'll interlock in there, and you may have to jiggle it a little bit after you unscrew it, right?
Yeah, and that's what I'm kind of facing right here. It may not always be straightforward. It can kind of go off to the side a little bit. And just a little patience. But right here, it's just the reality of what you may be facing. So once we get it good and loose, we're going to take that out of the way. Flashlight there. I'm going to remove the screw as so. I'm going to pull this ESP out. So right here, one of the first things you can do, folks, you can take a rag to help clean this probe up. You can kind of see a little bit of the buildup already there happening. And when this thing gets really coated, all that extra gunk kind of acts like an insulator to this probe. So it can throw off the sensor totally. So first step, part 1, take this out, clean this up, get this all nice and shiny, put it back, fire up your stove. And if your stove all works and it's all good and dandy, you're good to go. If not, that's okay. We're gonna move on to part 2. We're gonna show you how to replace this bad boy.
Okay, folks, so you cleaned the ESP, and the ESP isn't detecting the exhaust or the heat properly. So we're going to replace the ESP now. So Briggs, if you're right in here. So you saw how Briggs took out the screw, and then we're going to take out the ESP as so. And you can see the ESP here, there's extra wire. It's all intertwined into this. And so this isn't hillbillied, or however you want to say it. They used bread ties to keep this wiring together. So now we have this set aside. Now, where is this going? Well, Briggs, do you have your flashlight there handy?
I do.
So this wire here, the black one, so that's going to be intertwined, or my finger, it's going to go up, 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 and into this wire harness. And this wire harness is all zip tied together. It's really, really tight, and it goes right here. And then, Briggs, if you bring it up, that wire harness goes, watch my finger, I'm going to go up towards the control board. Up here. The wire harness goes right there. You can see. So right in here is where the ESP will go. Now I'm going to go slow because this is a little tricky to do and you want to take your time. So what I do is on the front facing of this, and you may want to take a picture of it, but these 3 knobs, I turn the first one to test mode, leave it. The second one, I leave it in the off position. And the third one, I turn it all the way to 50 degrees. So you know that's exactly the way that these knobs went in. So I'm going to pull them out. So you can pull them out like this. So you know it's in the test mode there. The next one's in the off mode. Pull it out. And I just set them down accordingly. These are the knobs. I'm going to replace them. This is the third one. I'm going to pull out like so, and that's the third one. So I'm going to keep those nice. So on this side of the control board, this is super tight in here, this wire harness. It's really, really tough. I'm going to use a Phillips on the impact. You could use a regular Phillips screwdriver. That's fine. But we're just going to just gently take out these screws like so. There's one. I'm going to set it down. The second one, I'm holding on to this front part with my hand. Second one, and I'm going to just leave it like that. Then I'm going to use my fingers and like so. So if you come over here, what's going to happen is this is going to break away. Now, this is a rubber grommet, and here's the wire harness. That's where the ESP is. This is just watch how this comes apart. Just like so. So you have to be gentle. You don't have to take all this apart. We're going to show you how to take it all apart when you have to replace a control board. We're going to show you how to do it. But up here, let's see if we can get some light in here. Right here, this is the black wire. That's the same black wire that's attached to, down here, Briggs, right here, this round part. That black wire goes all the way up and into the control board here. And it's 2 connections. So let's see if we can get a good light in there. So right here, you want to remove this. Now sometimes there's just a little clip here. You have to just take your time. There's just 2 connections. I'm going to take my fingers and kind of pinch it and try to pull it. Nope. Nope. It's very, very tight. Nope. And there it finally goes. So you can see it was just a push and pull, but it's so small. This is reality. I'm glad it took me 3 times, but I'm taking my time time because there's only 2 little pins in here. Can we get a little in there? You can see, I'm going to put my finger there. Right in there where this went, there's 2 pin connectors. Do not force it. If you break those, you have to buy another control board. So anyway, I have this disconnected. Great and dandy. I'm going to set it aside. Now, we're going to do the new one now, and I'm going to fish it. So I'm going to take a break. Join us in just a second. Okay, friends, welcome back. So this is the old one, ESP, and here's the wiring. The thing about the ESP, when they produce it, it's all intertwined in this main wire harness, and it's really tight, and there are probably a good 4 or 5 zip ties, and it's super tight all the way up into the control board. So what I do, since it's disconnected, which we did over here, I'll just put the flashlight here. Here's the wire. So what I'm going to do is just basically tuck it just like so. It's not going to hurt anything. Just tuck it away. And I'll show you what to do with the old one. Because all this here you would have to take apart. All this, the zip ties and the insulator tubes, all this, no, it's not needed. Just set it aside. Now the new one is like so. So I took the zip ties or the bread ties off. And this is kind of tricky. So I'm going to gently unravel some of it so I have some length. And this may take a few tries. So Briggs, if you come over here, so what we're going to do, up in this area here where the wire harness goes, I'm taking the 2-pin lead and I'm going to bring it up into here. So I'm going to leave my hand here, and Briggs, if you come over here, they're going to see my fingers right in here in a second. So I'm going up behind here. It's really, really tight just to get it, just the wiring up in here. So there it is. So where's the, can you get the flashlight right there?
Oh yeah.
And just, they can see where my finger is. My other hand's on the other side pushing up this lead. Up, I got it. So you want to just gently bring it forward. Don't rip on it or you'll rip the wiring on the metal. So you want to just kind of feed it gently. So I'm right on top of this wire harness, folks. Just like so. So I'm going to bring more and more and more and more leads. You get it. So it's right, it's going to be right where the old wire harness used to be. So here's the new one. Now remember, there's 2 pins in here. So this top part, this is the push and pull part. Push and pull part is up. So I'm going to go in and gently find the 2 pins. Snap. Now I took my time. This is reality. And I'm going to take this and put it right in this grommet. Then it's in the grommet. And then right here, you can see there's 2 tabs, 1 and 2. Just make sure they're in there. I was kind of forcing it a little bit. Be gentle. So get your wire harness in that grommet. There is the black wire for the ESP. Just don't pinch it. Take your time. Now I'm going to shut this gently, like so. Now you can see here, if Brett can see, you have to kind of move this a little bit to see the holes here so they line up. So if I left it like that, you cannot get to it. So I have to kind of push this down until I can see, there it is. There's the hole. So I'm going to do like Briggs would do. I would just kind of hand thread it here a little bit. That one's set. This one down here, the hole is centered. Like so. And you can use a regular screwdriver, whatever you wish, and just gently till it's just snug. Just gently, that's good enough.
Nicely done.
So here, this is the new one. Okay, we get it. So when we take the old one like so, you can snip it off if you want, but I really don't. I will just take the old zip tie and take this apart. And again, this is like a little surgery. You just take your time with it, folks.
In your favorite word?
Yeah, a lot of patience. But you know, usually Brett's just wild and crazy, which I am. Having a good time, but when I'm working with things like this, I have to have some patience. And so, anyway, the old one is tucked aside. It's not connected to anything. It's not going to disrupt anything. So here is the rest of it. So what I'm going to do is insert the new one. So here's where the screw goes, but I'll insert the new one in like so. That can move. And here's the new one. So what I do is go ahead and take your bread ties like so. And if that's not good enough, you want to keep this away. Take another zip tie or bread tie, and basically just keep the wiring away from the hot surfaces. So there is, it's sitting nicely. This is the old one, not a big deal. The reason why, again, I didn't totally remove it, because I'd have to remove the whole wire harness, all the zip ties, and it would be a cluster. So anyway, this one is the new, and then obviously you put in the screw with a 1/4 inch, and then you're going to tighten that down. Once you tighten that down, you put your side panels on, which Briggs showed you in the beginning of the video how to do it. And there you go. But you know what? We're still not done, because we're back to the control board over here, Briggs. So I was able to remember where I had these knobs. Let's see if they work right. Remember the first one, I lined it up where it says test, this line. So I'm gently going to put it in. See if it will go in. It does. You don't want to force it. But if you need to take a picture of exactly how you took these knobs out, please do. Because if you force and force and force these in, you're going to break the mech on the control board. The second one that we used, we had it in the off position. So I'm going to have this white line lined up with the off position. So here we go. Just you'll kind of feel it. And there it goes. It snaps into place. And remember the third one, 50 degrees. There's the line. I'm going to push it in slowly. Get to 50 degrees. You'll feel it. Snap. Now, look. Works perfect. Back to off. There it is. Room temp. Back to off. Here's your feed rate. Works perfectly. All the way to 5. All the way to test or 1. Here, your temperature. We'll go 50 to 90. So there's a quick tip that will help you. So hang with us here. We have a quick closing, and thank you.
All right, everyone.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, Dad, thank you so much for walking through all there. So
Sure.
It's really in depth, but hopefully this video has been very helpful to you guys. And you know, you got any last remarks before we go?
You know, I'm really excited I was able to do a repair today. And, you know, this one here, you saw Brett, you really take your time, and you'll have a successful, you know, installation or repair. Now, if you have an older Harman, look at the ESP wire color. If it's white or black, get a white or black ESP. If you have a newer one that has a red wire connected to the ESP, order a red one. So there is a big difference there. Anything else there?
No, I think you hit the nail right on the head. Just, again, when working with these Harmans, have some patience, because a lot of the time, especially in our experience, on the table, it's one thing. In your own homes, very limited room to work with. So instead of having all the space, you're more likely going to be like this. So just a heads up, you know, take some breaks if you need to, or just go slow. Don't rush it, because if you start yanking wires, anything else, not going to be a fun time. But anyway, I'm rambling on. Any last things?
No, great machine. This is an older one, chain driven. I love it. We're going to do some more videos on this, repair videos. Follow along with us. And as always, we thank you for viewing in today.
Awesome. Thanks, guys. See you in the next one.